ladies and gentlemen. What? Oh. I apologise for that. I do. Real.
And now...
I do apologise, you know.
Hello, welcome to the town of Warwick. I'd like to introduce you to the annual Warwick Cricket Club Reg Thatcher Award. We're in Goldsmith Avenue this morning, and I'd like to take you to number 21 Goldsmith Avenue, the home of our first contestant, John Davis. Let's see if he's in, shall we? Sounds like he is. Morning, John.
Morning, Roy.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Very good. Let me take your mind back to that lovely day in February 1990, when you actually the first recipient of the Reg Thatcher Award. Can you just talk us through exactly what happened afterwards?
Well, I had a drink, as you do, to celebrate the award.
Yes.
And upon my way home, the trophy slipped from my grasp.
You mean you dropped it?
Yes.
That's just about the be-all and end-all of it, isn't it? Yeah. Have you got any idea who that gentleman was who was walking out the door when we came earlier on? Is it a friend or...?
I've never seen him before in my entire life.
Oh, how strange. I don't think the neighbour had either.
I'm not surprised.
OK. Well, thanks very much anyway, John. Obviously, at the end of the evening, you'll know whether you're the recipient in 1991. Oh. You're doing your damnedest to win it.
I hope I do. I'd be proud to win it again.
Thanks for the interview.
Pleasure.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Our first contestant in the Warwick Cricket Club Reg Thatcher Awards. Rough, innit? Good evening. Welcome to Coventry Road, Warwick, the other side of Warwick, where tonight the camera crew bring us to visit Jack Oliver. Jack Oliver, our second contestant, or nominee, as we should say, in our Warwick CC Reg Thatcher Award. It's a rather wet night, so let's knock the door and see if Jack's in, shall we? Okay. Jack. Good evening. Thanks for letting us into your house this evening.
Pleasure.
Let me just take your mind back to the depths of last summer. What a beautiful summer it was too.
Oh.
When you were in the midst of a second team match, or I should say, before or after, yeah, for sure. When I understand one of your players, a chap by the name of Unsworth, who have been unable to contact, as it happens, didn't have any money with him.
Correct.
Would you just like to elaborate on that a little bit and let us know what happened from there on in?
Jack, I've put the kettle on. Try not to make too much of a mess before tomorrow morning. Thanks.
Well, as I was saying, it was just one of those silly things that happened, but you just happened to be one of the nominated tonight, and Perhaps you can just enlighten us.
Well, as I remember it, it was after the game, and the bloke came up and said, well, do you take stamps? So I said, well, if you haven't got any money, I suppose we'll have to. And that was about it, really.
And correct me if I'm wrong, you actually took the stamps,
Of course, yes.
which was quite a stupid thing to do.
Well, in hindsight, probably, yes.
Was there any aggro with the treasurer afterwards?
Well, actually, I think I swapped them, really. I thought I'd better write a few letters just to get rid of them, you know.
And when did he receive the letters?
Who?
The treasurer.
No, I didn't actually write the letters to the treasurer.
Oh, he didn't.
No.
So it was all prefabricated.
In what respect is that?
I don't really know.
But if you don't, I'm sure I don't.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we're getting quite a long way this evening with Jack. As it turned out, he actually took the stamps off Peter Unsworth as a substitute for his subs, which I think, and the rest of the committee think, it was a bit of a gross act of stupidity. And that is why he's our second contestant, or nominee, in this year's Reg Thatcher Trophy. Thank you. Good evening, and welcome to stage 3 of the Reg Thatcher Shield. Tonight, we come to St John's, Warwick, to interview Nigel Simcox, present owner of Simcox Insurance, an illustrious cricketer of Warwick Cricket Club. We'd like to talk to him tonight about tours past and present, about some of the odds and ends that have carried on over the years. Let's pop over to Nigel and take a seat and have a few words with him then. Hi, Nigel.
Hello.
Thanks for letting us in tonight to conduct this interview.
No problem. Very pleased to see you.
Splendid. You want to take a seat?
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Well, basically all it was we wanted to have a little chat about tours past and present, but basically, mainly, the tour in Fording Bridge last year and what it consisted of.
Fording Bridge. Sharon, get the tour file, 1989.
Actually, Nigel, it was 1990, but that doesn't matter.
Sharon, 1990.
Right. Oh, I didn't know you kept files of the tour, Nigel.
Yes. I always keep files of all the tours, all the events. In
Well,
fact, I've got a whole filing cabinet. Whole filing cabinet full of all the tours, top shelf. And on my poor moments, I always refer to those. And,
Is there a problem? Well, let's take you back to the beginning of the tour last year. I mean, was there any special event that preceded the tour?
The tour last year for me was a very last moment thing. As you know, one thing the other, and at first I didn't think I was going to make it.
Well, bearing in mind that you're usually the life and soul of the party on these cricket tours.
Well, I don't think that's quite fair to say, because I think we're all life and soul of the party.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough. That's a fair comment. There were just one or two little antics that we understood you got up to on the tour.
Yes, yes, a few antics, yeah.
Well,
We always get up to a few antics.
Well, take, for instance, gambolling over people's front gardens and knocking on doors, etc., etc.
Well, is that right, is it? Is it?
Well,
Yeah.
pardon me for saying so, but I witnessed it, and so did the other 10 who were with us.
Yeah, yes. Oh, of course, yes. Well, that's a tradition, as you did know. It's a tradition that wherever we go, we test out the hedges. Usually, we look for hedges of about 4 or 5 feet high. You know, we get higher every year, and we like to just flip over at the end of a good night's drinking.
Well, pardon me for saying so again, Nigel, but I think that's a load of bullshit.
I think it was a lot of bullshit, really, yeah.
Let me just take your mind back to there was a night in the pub where everybody was sat round a table, and we understand that you had a flat pint of beer, and by some means you managed to get ahead on the beer. Do you remember that, or?
Yes, I think I do. We find down south a lot of the beer is very flat.
What was your own particular method of putting a head on the beer, then?
I just pull my trousers down and put it in and stroke it up and And it was the goal, it was there.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, another idiot to follow the other two. Nomination number 3. Nigel Simcox. As you can see again, it's not just insurance he gets up to. Thank you very much. Welcome to a very windy, sunny, yet cold Hampton Road, the home of Warwick Cricket Club, for our 4th regular interview in the Reg Thatcher Shield. Tonight brings together 2 of those hearty lads from last summer, Paul Finch and his father, no, it's not his father, many believe, Mal Hopkins, our resident bar steward. Discussing with Mal and Finchy a certain day last year when they became quite inebriated. I think a bottle of vodka was mentioned in past conversations, and we were discussing, you know, the to's and fro's of it, having a general laugh. And then after that, we've got one or two of our even older stalwarts of yesteryear, Messrs Huff and Clark, aggro merchants of the last game of last year, which should provide interest in filming. We look forward to interviewing them. Mal, just casting our minds back to last summer, I remember one particular night when we were all sat down here, and you and Paul were performing quite well. Do you remember anything about it yourself?
Well, it started off when I was drinking Moosehead all day, and all of a sudden the first team came back, and they was picking on my mate here, Finchy, with vodka, and all of a sudden I took over with this vodka.
You say picking on them. I mean,
Well, you know,
you only drink as you want.
Pardon?
You say picking.
Well, you know, Paul was on this log, and he didn't want the vodka, and I started drinking the vodka, and luckily we finished a bottle of vodka there between us.
Well, as I saw it, and many others, it was a bit unlucky. Do you remember much about it, Paul?
No, not really. I had quite a few before, because we stopped off about 5 pubs coming back from the game, and that was a hell of a session then. But after that, God, bloody hell.
Is there anybody in particular that you like to blame for plying you with drinks?
Yeah, Chris Bagshaw, he played in the first team that day, and he came back and he was, you know, come on, have a vodka, Mal, have a vodka, Mal. I said, I don't want it, Baggy, I don't want it. And, you know, I said, you pay it home. And in the end, you know, he just took the hint and he went.
Paul, just coming back to you a minute, I mean, one of the last things I remember of that evening was you standing with your head crunched over a sink in the toilet there, yelling, Mal, and then Mal in the urinal himself, Finchy.
I said, Finchy, come on, help me, please.
Yeah, I just choked up and then I left him there to it.
Yeah, yeah.
I left after that, and I heard that it collapsed, and I think Jack and yourself had to pick him up.
That's right. Yeah. We had a little. Sorry.
I collapsed in the first team change room here with yourself and Jack Oliver.
No. Let me just correct you there. Myself and Jack Oliver didn't collapse in the first team.
No, I
change room.
collapsed in the first team change room, and you and Jack was trying to get me rain, pull me rain and all that.
Yeah. Well, it was quite a night, really, wasn't it? I hope we just look forward to a few more nights like that this summer.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Beautiful, blazing days of the summer, and you know, ensuing cricket season.
Yeah, quite a few of these days.
And a few mooseheads indeed. What about the odd vodka here and there?
Well, we should have a few again next year, I think.
Good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen. Where tonight we've been brought to the shower room at the cricket club in order to interview one John Huff. Now, this goes back to the depths of last summer. The last game, in fact, against Hampton and Arden, where John was, well, there's only one way you can put it, really. He was set up. And we were just going to ask him of his thoughts of last summer, particularly that last game. It all started way back in the early parts of the summer with the ridiculous episode against Leek Wootton, of which most of you know about.
Have you finished with the shampoo, John?
Yes, thank you, Philip.
Well, good evening, you two. idiots from last year. I've been waiting for months to ask you this question. Are you two still friends? John?
I'll let Jeff answer that.
I'll let John answer that.
I can see this conversation is going to get us a long way.
Yes, the best of friends.
They're best of friends. I thought you might well
He can
be.
share my room on tour any time.
Can't really share mine.
As long as you don't want to share the double bed.
No. Come on, let's not start arguing again. Just going back to that last game. I mean, you didn't really have a clue what was going on, did you?
No, not at all.
And as usual, Jeff just took it one step too far and it sort of got a bit out of hand. Can you just talk us through what happened in your eyes, John?
Well, I bowled the first ball of the over and it went for a head-high catch to Steve Dello and